Hey guys, welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. Today we have another episode for you entitled Stars Fan Stories. And today you will be meeting Nick here in just a second, aka Triple D Stars Fan on Twitter. But before we meet Nick and talk to him about his Stars fandom and why he continues to suffer through the emotional stress that the Stars put us through, we do want to hand out a thank you to DraftKings for being our sponsor for our podcast and also for THPN in general as well. So, without further ado, today we have Nick. Hey, Nick, how you doing today, man? Doing okay?
Good, you?
Yep, doing okay. I'm slowly but surely getting over the effects of my second wave of COVID. So,
Damn, I
and
didn't think you could catch it twice.
well, yeah, the second one. Well, I assume it's COVID. I didn't actually like go and get a test or anything like that, but
I gotcha.
like it, dude, this one sucked. The first one I was just like, oh, this is a breeze, and this one
Right.
really sucked. So I mean, it put me out of commission for like a good not 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. So, but anyways, I wanted to talk to you and get your interview in here because what made you decide to do an interview like this? Because for a lot of people, this is kind of like a intimidating thing coming on a podcast like this and getting interviewed. So, what gave you the motivation to come out and do this interview with me?
Just to share a fan story, and I wouldn't say I was nervous because in high school, at our pep rallies, I would always do the football talk in front of the whole student body.
Oh, so talking in front of crowds is nothing new to you then.
Not really.
Not really. Good. All right. Well, that's awesome. Okay, so there's like a series of questions that I go through for everybody that comes onto this podcast for this series of episodes that we do. And the first one is kind of just explain how you got into hockey, and because like especially down here in the South, it's not normal. It's a very weird thing to be a hockey fan and to like
Right.
ice down in Texas
Football
where
heavy state.
exactly. Or the Mavericks, which speaking of which, they had some big news here today too. But go
Right.
check that out on Twitter if you haven't figured that out. But anyways, so why hockey? What got you into hockey?
Um, because I got in fully about 2016. And then, because I watched like bits and pieces of game here or there, I remember the infamous game 6 against Anaheim in 2014.
Oh,
I remember that it was third period, up by two with two and change left. They tied it up, and then we lose the game in overtime. So Anaheim beat us in 6.
yep, I remember that game too. It still gives me nightmares. Not as much as the 2019 St. Louis Game 7 Round 2 does, but
If
that's a close
Jamie would
second.
have made that freaking wraparound.
Yep. hmm So, so who influenced you to get into hockey? Was it just something that you saw on TV? Was it like a specific person, mom or dad or something?
Probably just something I've seen on TV.
Where did you first see it on TV?
I think that was the first game I watched.
Oh, was
And
it in
then
2016?
24, the game
Oh,
6 and
yeah,
14.
2014. Sorry, yes, you said that. 2014.
And then 2016, I got the idea to actually go to a game. So my first game was against Tampa, pre-Monster era,
Yeah.
uh, March of 2016.
So March of 2016. Do you remember what the score of that game was?
I think we won it 4-3 in overtime, and about the game, it was John's first goal, but it was also we're sagging towards Achilles, and he was out for the
Oh,
playoffs.
that's right. I forgot about that. That you got a good memory. Wow, I completely forgot about that. That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. That's it. So
And
so
then
send. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I'm saying also in the 2014 playoffs. Um, Also, the thing that got me into it was I watched the Stanley Cup final between the Kings and the Rangers.
Oh, that was a really good series. I remember
And I
that. That was
remember
the Kings' second cup.
the game five. I stayed up till like 2 in the morning, and then when Martinez scored the game winner, I tried to keep quiet because everybody was asleep.
Right, because oh yeah, that was on the West Coast. That's right. That was the game was on
Yeah,
the
because
West
they played
Coast.
on
So
California time.
yeah, right. So well, that's cool. That's really neat. That's how you got into hockey. It was just that just watching it on TV back in 2014. So
Yep.
so did you have a favorite player, like from 2014 to about 2017, 2018? Did you have any like favorite players?
Probably the Ben and Sagan.
Bennigan.
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
they were good under Lindy Ruff.
So what about now? Who are some of your favorite players from this current era?
Current era, I'd have to say, I like Miro. I I like a lot of them. It'd probably be a laundry list of who I like.
Who are some of like the lesser liked players of Dallas Stars that you really like? Like for example, for me, one of my I mean, a lot of people liked him, but he wasn't like one of the big scorers. Like for me, it was like Antoine Roussel. Antoine Roussel was always one of my favorite players because of how much heart he had, and he was just a beast to play against and all of that. Do you have any players that are kind of like that you can think of that are just kind of outside the box a little bit?
I liked when we had Perry.
Mm-hmm.
He was that you get veteran leadership, and then he's also one of the ones that can be a pest and get in your head and mess with you mentally
Yep, I agree. Yeah, I just feel terrible for him and the fact that he's lost 3 Stanley Cup Finals in a row on
with
3
three.
different
I
teams.
don't think that's ever happened.
Nope, first time
Not
in
with three
NHL
different
history.
teams.
Yeah, the only person that got close to that was Marian Hossa. I think he did it like twice. I think he was one time with Pittsburgh and one time with Detroit. I think is what it was, and then he finally won it when he went to Chicago. So, but
Sounds right.
A couple of other questions I like to ask people when they come on here is, uh, and this is kind of my favorite thing to talk about is, for me, there's always a Dallas Stars moment that I will remember for the rest of my life, right? So one of the big ones that people keep talking about on here is the 2020 Winter Classic, and specifically in that game uh, is the Radulov goal that put us up 3-2 late in the third period. And I don't think I've heard
I
any.
remember it like
Yeah,
it was yesterday.
yeah. I don't think I will ever forget that moment for myself. But do you have any memories that kind of stick out to you, whether it was like, sitting down watching TV, maybe you were actually at the game? What are some moments that in your life that are big Dallas Stars moments?
Winter. Everybody else, Winter Classic #1. Um, I just that was a great thing to be a part of. I don't know if I'll ever get to go to another one. And like if you get to play in one, it's a big deal. But it's a bigger deal if you get to host one. And will go down in memory for the second largest crowd, only behind Toronto and Detroit at Michigan.
Right. Yeah. So
And
did you?
what's
Where were
up?
you sitting at that game?
I was at the top. I think left of the TV, left of the
Oh,
scoreboard.
left of the scoreboard. Okay.
Yeah.
Because actually we were pretty close to you then. We were me and my family. We were down in the lower bowl, and we were actually got like we were like right there when Perry did his little walk of shame after he got kicked out of the
Yeah.
game. So
Still questionable,
yeah, no, it was very questionable hit. It was definitely suspendable for sure.
but I just remember because I remember we went down 2-0, and I was like, "Are we really gonna get embarrassed at home on national television?"
On New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we just kept on, and then Rad scored the go ahead, and I think Sekera had the insurance goal.
So, I actually forgot to ask this at the beginning, like I told you we were gonna do. But can you just tell us just a little bit about yourself and your background, like where you live, where you're from, what you do for a job, anything like that? Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Um, I live in Waco,
Hmm.
so it's a great because I'm either halfway between Dallas and Cedar Park, so I can go to either team. And for work wise, I work at a convenience store. And I think on one episode you said you lived in West Texas, so you might know the name. You ever heard of Kent Quick?
Yes.
Yeah,
I have.
that's the one I work for.
Oh, very cool. Very neat. Well, so so why Waco? Why do you live in Waco? Is it just a city you like to be in? Is that just kind of where you grew
No,
up?
that's where I grew up.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, what other Dallas Stars moments do you have throughout your lifetime that you really, really, really would like to talk about? Anything that sticks out in your mind?
Besides the classic, I'd say the pre-Halloween comeback from the dead against Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I remember, if you don't remember, during I think I saw a couple of guys with bags over their head because it was that bad. And I just remember, I think we were down like 3-0, and they got booed off of the ice. I was like, oh, I think I thought about leaving early that game, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. And the final. What was the final score of that game? Wasn't it 6-3?
Sounds right.
Yeah. And I just remember that I remember that game very very vividly just because of the comeback that came, and a lot of people look at that game in particular and point to it as like the turning point of the whole season. So it
Correct.
was a very very important game. Um, so how many Stars games do you normally go to per year? Would you say?
I think because I started with a 1 in 16, and then I think started 2017. I went to a Stars Kings game because I like both because that was the team I saw win the cup. And then 20, what was it? I think 18, 19, I got to go like whenever I could get off work and stuff. And then 1920, I actually coughed up for season tickets.
So how long have you been a season ticket member then? Since then?
So this will be my third season.
So yeah, so what made you decide to go out and get season tickets? Because there's a lot of people that love the Stars, but they don't go get season tickets. What made you go get season tickets?
I think I just love it that much, and but I love traveling, love going out of town. I call Dallas my second home. So
So where do you normally sit at the American Airlines Center when you do go to the games?
Uh, 317A. So I'm a few seats down from Matt.
That's right. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that you get to talk to him. So,
Yeah.
how well do y'all know each other?
Think I've known him for, I think, 2 or 3 seasons now.
Really? That's pretty cool. That's one thing that I've never gotten to do is to get season tickets because as a teacher and with a wife and 3 kids, it's kind of hard to do that because you ain't got no money.
Right.
So,
Plus, I
but
think for you, it's like a 5 hour drive.
oh, it's about 6 hours for me.
For me, hour and a half back and forth.
See, I could do that any day, all day. So,
I can too. And I also
yeah.
have season tickets for the Texas Stars.
How far is that from Waco? Actually, isn't that like a 2.5 hour
Same
drive? Kind of.
distance. I'm like
Oh,
right in the middle.
okay, that's pretty nice then.
Yeah, like, I joke because one of my conditions, if I ever move, it has to be in or near an NHL city.
Shoot, that would be fair for me. I have to have some sort of hockey around me,
Right.
and the only reason why I survive and I get my hockey fix out here in West Texas is because of the Odessa Jackalopes of the NAHL. So, bunch of really young guys trying to prove
I don't
their
think I've
worth
heard
in
of
the
them.
yep. So, but that's how I get my fix. But so let me go ahead and ask you this as well because a lot of people are kind of we just got our new coach hired, Pete DeBoer.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are listening now, that's a sort of new thing. It's been about a week now. And there's some fans that are a little bit worried about the season. There's some fans that are cautiously optimistic. There are some fans that are really excited about the season. If you had to put yourself in one of those 3 categories, excited, cautiously optimistic, or completely depressed, which one would you put yourself in and why?
I'd have to go cautiously optimistic because, I think we have turnover at the head coaching spot. So they have to learn a new system again because we went from Lindy to Hitch, Monty, Bones, and now DeBoer. So,
How
what's up?
do you think that DeBoer is going to be a good fit for the Stars? How do you think he's going to do in his first season?
Um, I think it's still questionable that Vegas got rid of him. That was kind of a head scratcher, which it also was when they got rid of Gallant. You know, you're a team 5 years in the league, and you're already on your third head coach.
Mm. That's kind of the nature of the NHL nowadays, to be honest with you. They just recycle coaches every 2 or 3 years, it seems like. So,
But I think he'll do good. We have a lot of good prospects coming up
mhm.
um, in
Do you have a
Texas.
favorite?
And favorite prospect?
Hmm.
Um, see, I like Johnston. I like Stankoven. I like Bork. In Texas, you have Tufty, Delandria, Damiani. So I think the future is good in that he also coached Pavs in San Jose.
That's true.
Took them to the Cup final in 17, and he took New Jersey. I don't. Was it 20 when they went in 2012?
Yeah, so it was New Jersey when Martin Brodeur was still around.
Yeah.
So, so you mentioned that you've seen a lot of the Texas Stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, what are some of your favorite players down there? Because there's a lot of fans, especially in Dallas, who don't really get to see a lot of the Texas Stars or even hear about the Texas Stars. So, what are some of your favorite players from the Texas Stars?
Um, so I like Tufty, Damiani, Delandria, Curtis McKenzie, Adam Shield.
Do you think
Um,
any of those guys could possibly make it to the NHL next season?
Next, I'd probably say out of those, I'd probably say Tufty has the best shot. Maybe Damiani, maybe Delandria.
But you really think that Tufty's got the best shot?
Yeah, he played pretty good when he played last season.
Yep. And he got that call up for a very short period of time. I just wasn't sure if you thought he would make it or not. So,
Right.
so what's your favorite part about being at a hockey game? Is it the atmosphere? Is it just the actual game itself? Is it the people around you? What do you enjoy about going to hockey games, whether it's at HEB Center or whether it's at the American Airlines Center?
I'd probably say all of the above.
Just everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Get to be around my friends and stuff, catch up, talk.
Who do you normally sit around and go with?
I go by myself, but I'm in a group chat with a bunch of other Stars fans, and um, we pick places to meet up at each game, and we all meet up and chit chat at intermissions.
So where do y'all normally kind of hang out and meet up and stuff like that? Is there a normal spot or does it just always change
I think the official one last year was outside the hangar.
outside the hangar? Okay. Well, very cool.
And
Very
for
cool.
you those that don't know, that's the name of our team store.
Yep. Name of the team store. Right. Well, is there anything else that you kind of want to talk about before we kind of wrap it up today? I think that's all the time we got for our interview today. Is there anything that you'd like to mention?
It's ready for the season. The old saying, is it October yet?
Yeah, seriously, because I know that hockey just ended less than a week ago with the Stanley Cup final finally being done and Colorado winning. But uh, I watched every game of the Stanley Cup final because it's still hockey. So I
Right.
even
Plus,
watched.
we have the draft and free agency.
Yep. So well, actually, do you think we'll get anybody in free agency before we close it up?
I think the big question is how much are Otter and Robo going to cost?
Yeah, and yeah, Chris James and I have talked about that at extent, and we just have no idea. So we'll have to wait
Um,
and see. So
if we're going to keep Klingberg, and then I think a week ago something came out that we're a possible landing spot for Brett Burns.
yep, absolutely. We talked about that too just yesterday on our weekly Wednesday episode. So uh, I. I'm kind of excited about it, but I'm kind of like I don't know, just because he makes a lot of money and that would be really bad against the Stars cap hit. But
Yep.
we'll have to see. So okay, well, I think that's gonna do it for us. Hey Nick, thanks for doing with this me man. I appreciate you coming on and doing this.
Sure. Love to do it again sometime.
Of course. So along with Nick, my name is Ryan. This has been Stars Fan Stories. We'll